So I've made some progress. It's Saturday morning now, and we're expecting Storm Kathleen today. It's about the fifth named storm that we've had in the UK this winter. So it's a good excuse to stay in and get organised. I've managed to get the fabric boxes onto the shelves they're meant to go on, although the boxes themselves are really messy. We've done quite a lot of hoovering and vacuuming and getting rid of certain cobwebs. A little bit more on that later at the end of the video. My tip for how to keep those out of the way, those creatures which I'm not going to name, but you know the ones I mean. On this little set of shelves now, I've just got the things that I use all the time. I've removed the bobbins for the overlocker. I'm going to keep those on there. And these, which are also useful, got all the main things that I use all the time. So this is a couple of hours later, and I hope you can see some progress. It's looking a lot better, and I can sort of see the end in sight now. Wind's getting up. I think Storm Kathleen's expected to get up to 40 miles an hour on the west coast of the UK. Got the two sewing machines installed now with all the cables sorted out. I do need to give them both a clean though. Across these shelves, I'm going to have hooks, and so that I can hang up quilts to show or a backdrop. So I'll show you that later as well. So the display corner is looking a little bit more tidy, and we are finally getting there. Keep watching to see the final result. I should start by saying a disclaimer. I'm not an aromatherapist. I'm just using a recipe that I got from the internet a while ago, and I made a couple of adjustments of my own. I'm spraying this in my house. I don't have polished floors. I don't have painted skirting boards. They're just old floorboards. And I don't have anything that can be spoilt by essential oils. Even in the dilute form, if you spray it on polished or painted surfaces, it can spoil it. You also need to think about where you're buying the essential oils. If they're cheap, they're possibly not as good quality. The essential oils are actually quite expensive, and you do only need a few drops of them. But if you see one that's much cheaper than the rest, it's probably not in its pure form. So look at each of the ingredients and see if there is anything that anybody in your household could have an allergy to. There are some contraindications for some essential oils for certain individuals. So if you've got young children, pregnant, or you have got pets who are going to be crawling around the floor, so check all those things out before you go start spraying this stuff all over your house. We live in quite an old house, and there's lots of gaps in the floorboard, beams, that kind of thing, and we always used to get quite a lot of those insects, beginning with S, which I'm not going to mention, that hide in corners. And if you don't like them, like me, you don't want to see a picture of them, and you don't want to hear people say it, and I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is show you what I do to keep them at bay. And I started doing this a few years ago because it used to be that I would sort of get up in the morning and there would be one on the stairs, or there would be one on the wall, or there'd be one in the sink in the kitchen. And since I've been doing this, that's not been happening. Now, it might just be a coincidence, I don't know, but there just aren't that many anymore. And I put it down to this oil. I researched it on the internet, and this oil is sort of repels insects, including the ones that we want to repel, that I'm not going to mention. So the oil is called Thieves Oil, as in stealing, and it got its name because it was thought to come from the bubonic plague in Europe, where people would go into the houses where poor unfortunate victims of the plague would be dead, entire families, and the thieves would go in and steal their things. What a horrible thing to do. But they would put this oil on them or scatter it in the house because they thought that it would stop them catching bubonic plague from the victims. Bubonic plague is transmitted by a flea on a rat, and this is an insecticide, so maybe it did. I don't know, but this is why, apparently, this is how it gets its name. It's a potent mixture of different essential oils. It's not an unpleasant smell, but it's quite a strong smell. And there are different recipes on the internet. I got this one ages ago, and I just downloaded it off the internet, and I've used it ever since. The only difference I do is I add peppermint oil. So I've got cinnamon bark, rosemary, clove bud, lemon, eucalyptus, and peppermint as well. Also put them in the description. So what you need is, I've actually got some already made up because I've got a bottle for it, and you do need to clearly label it. It's just another empty essential oil bottle. When oil's in its concentrated form, you need to keep it in a brown glass bottle. The bottle I use to actually put the spray in is just another cleaning product bottle that's empty, that I've clearly labelled, and because it's very dilute, you can do that. But you should, when it's in its concentrated form, you should keep it in glass. So that's my bottle. So I've already got some made up. If you're making it up, just put the required amounts using a dropper into a bottle like this. I've already got some made up. So what you need to do is, this bottle is 828 millilitres, which is, so I usually put in a few drops. I would say about equivalent of half a teaspoonful in, not much more than that. And then I'll top it up with water. Now, I've seen several recipes that say you can also use witch hazel. Well, I'm not really sure why that is. I mean, witch hazel's got antiviral, antibacterial properties. I think it's sometimes used as a room spray, but I've got some witch hazel, so I'll put some in. So there we go, and just give that a shake. That's it.